Hello and welcome back to the Kerbal Space program. My name is WW but you already know that. As you see, we were playing in the pre-release. As you also see down here, 1.164-bit. And we're gonna have a little stress test done today. Let's see how far down we can get the FPS of this game. Currently, I'm playing recording with Fraps at 60 FPS, and the game's running at 60 FPS. That's probably Fraps slowing that down. Usually I get like hundreds of FPS on the start screen, but that's not the thing here. As you see, I have installed environmental visual enhancements, and I have installed Scatterer and Kerbal Engineer. All of those have versions that work with the pre-release, which is really cool. And we're just gonna go back into our pre-hype sandbox mode. And look at the beauty of Scatterer and environmental visual enhancements. It looks really cool. What doesn't look really cool is this little bug here. That stuff there. That's something they figured out what causes it, and it's actually something that the game needs fixing for. So yeah, we're gonna see a fix for that in the foreseeable future. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm going to launch a pretty big ship from our last career mode that I modified to actually work in the new version, because I had actually used procedural fairings in the actual save, but yeah, I just went ahead and made the fairing a stock fairing. That's here now. And I can go ahead and make this 6-sided full ejection force clamshell. That's even more options than the stock clamshell fairings mod had, because I couldn't set how many sides it would have in the stock clamshell fairing mod. But yeah, I already recorded this exact craft launching in 1.0.4. Now I'm gonna go ahead, click launch here, and at that moment the video is gonna split in the middle, and you're gonna see on this side of the screen the 1.0.4 launch of this vehicle, and on this side of the screen on the right you're gonna see this launch. And I'm gonna commentate about the frame rate. First of all, the other one was at like 42 FPS in here and stuttered. This is at smooth 49-50. And doesn't stutter and doesn't lag and anything, because you know, on the old version we had the problem where if I clicked on something, it sometimes thought I double clicked. In any way, as you see, the Kerbal Engineer works. We uncompact that for a second here. You can still do the atmospheric thing. Everything works. That's fine. And I'd say 3, 2, 1, boom. Okay, so at launch, I don't know how different the loading screens are gonna be, but I'm gonna leave them in real time. At launch, the craft in 1.0.4 launched at 12 frames per second. Let's see if we can get above that, even with the two visual mods that I didn't have in 1.0.4. Loading time seems like longer. For all I can say. Launch. Staging with big crafts does take a while with this version of the game. However, we are running currently at 17 FPS, flickering up to 18. Yeah, 17 to 18, while the old game was playing at 12 FPS in this stage. Also, the slowdown up here with the in-game time is a whole lot less, and it doesn't lag at all. Like, this is still smooth. Even at 18 FPS, this looks smooth. Like, this is not jittery, this isn't laggy, this isn't framey. It's up to 19, 20 FPS now. Frame rate is actually rising. The exact opposite of what happened on the other thing. And you're gonna see what I mean with that in just when this runs out, actually. The staging of the lower stage will probably freeze the game for a moment in this version. But you're gonna see that it's gonna be a whole lot nicer to play in general. As you see, this is 1920 FPS. That's not bad, especially with the nice visuals there. I like that. I like Scatter a lot, really, and of course environmental visual enhancements. Gonna keep tipping over. If I look back now, that's about where I looked back in the other launch. We are at constant 20 FPS, and the frame rate of the other thing wasn't going up at all. Quite the contrary. As by the time we were about to stage here, the other, the 1.0.4 went down to 7 to 6 FPS. I'm just gonna try to keep this on prograde just so I can stage nicely when this runs out, which is gonna happen in 3, 2, 1. This runs at almost... And there is where the game freezes for a moment, because it's presumably separating the threads, because this part is gonna be its own thread on the CPU, and the other parts that I staged away get their own threads, as far as I know. And I don't know a lot about that kind of stuff. We're frozen, but... boom, and 21 FPS. That stuff falling away at almost normal speed. That, like, there is... Let's look. We've got, like, almost a second real life is a second in-game. Almost. Oh yeah, city lights. I totally forgot that I still have that texture in there, and I might want to delete that because I hate the city lights. Because they fade in and out when you come down. That looks stupid to me. Anyway. So yeah, we've got 21 FPS. With the other thing, we went down to 7 to 6 after the staging. 22 FPS. So the performance increase is absolutely not deniable at all. I think I did take the same ascent pattern. It should be the same. However, I did get re-entry effects a little bit on the fairing in the 1.0.4, which got the frame rate down even more to like 4 or 5 FPS. I don't see that happening here. And we're almost out of the atmosphere. I'm gonna go ahead and get the fairing stage down here. And boom. Oh, wait. Looks a whole lot nicer. This is a whole lot more fluid and nice than anything the other version did. Also, if I go ahead and time warp into space, which I did on the other video as well, but that took like twice the time. I'm probably not even past the first stage or something. And in space, we got 9 FPS on the other version, and we got now 25. With such a huge ship. Also, I totally ran out of electric charge. That's the same thing that happened in the other one. So yeah, as you see, this works a whole lot better. So, we go back to the Space Center. And now for a real stress test. Yeah, I totally went ahead and disabled the automatic cleanup here. You can now manually remove that if you want to. You can still have it automatically clean up, and I probably should. But yeah. So, yeah. I still don't like that happens. By the way, if you want to know what causes it exactly, oops, Alt F10. If I disable the post-processing here, which is what gives us the most of the stuff, most of the beauty of this mod, then this disappears. So yeah. As I said, there's something that is going to be fixed about that, and I don't want to go into any technical details. Mostly because I have little to no idea, really, about the details. So, real stress test now. Build something really, really huge. New. And start with a giant remote guidance unit and a... Oh my god. You can just type orange, by the way, and get the orange tank. I definitely like the search bar. Really helps a lot. Mainsail. Why does main bring up the others? Anyway, anything larger than a mainsail is okay. Then I want a nose cone, so that, and then I want not the octagonal strut, something like this. Something else I want to try out. Can you still get 5 times symmetry? Or is that now fixed? First of all, please... That, yeah. Yeah, that doesn't do that anymore. does it. Because previously, if you did this, you got like a weird bug. That's not that. And then you got to do this and got a 5 times symmetry that you don't get now. Okay, no 5 times symmetry bug anymore. That's okay. Actually, I don't care much. Really quick SAS reaction wheel, because I don't trust this having enough control by itself. And then give me some girders. Let's go 6 times. And big tanks. Okay. Adapt to I want the 3-meter part to 2.5 or whatever. I want that. Then we want... Oh yeah, that's also something I might want to check out in the future. If the struts still add drag to stuff that they shouldn't add drag to. Like after staging. Because they used to do that in the older versions. And it's really annoying if your strut adds drag when it's actually already staged away. Especially if you use a... By the way, this is running at solid 60 in here. Which is kinda something that I don't expect, really. Get that on there. Like, I don't know what to build on that to make it even bigger. I'm gonna go ahead and do something that's probably gonna kill the aerodynamics, which I don't really care about. I have actually a pretty nice... This is an SSTO, I just realized. It's got 5000 delta V and a thrust to weight of above 1 in atmosphere. So okay, we definitely need more thrust on that in the end, but parts that definitely cost you frame rate in the older versions was a lot of modular girders and panels and stuff like that. I actually... Where is the other modular there? Actually... make sure that's at least, like, somewhat okay. And now add like 1,000 struts. I like how I can strut here without waiting for the game to catch up because it's being stupid or anything. Dude, just connect. Not getting any double click bugs, which at this size is kinda surprising. Game's really running a whole lot better without the, like with the new engine and everything. There's no doubt about that. And now I'm gonna do something probably stupid. I'm gonna put this down here. And all of that's now hanging on this. And that's probably gonna collapse on launch bad. I still got a thruster weight of over 1. I'm gonna go ahead and add some boosters. Like solid boosters. Decoupler. Oh yeah, also, do these work properly now? Because they didn't used to. Why? Who has pressed C? Game. Nobody. That's who. Wanna know whether these work properly. Kickback. Please. Oh, by the way, I don't need to click them, I can just drag them now. That's something I need to actually get used to, since I'm pretty used to having to click them first once. You can drag groups by default now. Don't have to click them every time once to drag the group of boosters. That's like really nice though. Just to make it more parts. Aerodynamics. Give me the right cone, this one. Okay. Now, this runs pretty solid, smooth in here. I can guarantee you this wouldn't run this smooth in the old version. Launch. That loaded quick. The rocket's mostly still intact. Revert to launch. And be very quick. Nine frames per second. With dangling stuff. It's at 10 frames per second and it still looks more fluent than the other version. Because the physics time slowdown isn't that bad. You're not playing in frickin' slow motion. That does a lot. Like, frame rate or not, like, this is running at 10, 11 frames per second according to my Fraps overlay, and I still have a smooth experience without any, like, jittering, because the physics is still about a second per real-life second. Nice cloud button. Yep, that doesn't work. That's probably mostly because the booster didn't fly away far enough. I don't know whether it's still the decoupler that explodes upon use, which is really stupid and like a real problem. For some reason, by the way, the pattern here that you see from above as well as I see, it only happens in this direction, not in this direction, never. No matter about anything, really. I hate the lens flare. That's the one thing I definitely don't like, the lens flare, cause why would you give me a lens flare? We're falling at 300 meters per second. And we're gonna impact... Wow. We're falling at almost Mach 1. We're falling at Mach 1. We're gonna crash into the ocean at the speed of sound. There you had a physics lag for a moment. Hello? Nothing still underwater? Okay. But I gotta say, the water looks amazing with Scatterer. Like, look at the waves. Look at those waves and the reflections. It looks so fucking awesome. And it doesn't impact performance at all. Really. For me. At least. Anyway, so... big ship's not a problem anymore, as you see. There's one more thing that I'd like to do, and that's experiment with the new parts a bit. You might have seen other people do a few things with the new wheels, which are still a bit buggy. What I want to screw around with a bit is a part that Did I actually show this part in my 1.1 video? The inflatable heat shield. Oh wait, I just put that on the wrong way around. Put that on here for a moment. The inflatable heat shield. A really nice part that I definitely want to do something with. You can totally have that stage, by the way. You can jettison heat shields with on this now. Wait, does that work with all the heat shields? Yes, you can jettison heat shields now. That's cool. But yeah, I want to do a bit of stuff with it. I've seen that it is pretty light and pretty draggy, as in you can take a craft and like launch it straight into Eve at a collision course and it still will slow down efficiently. enough. So I want to see, is this floaty? Can you build a floating device with it? Can you build a giant floating platform that you can shoot over to Lathe with it? So next episode we're gonna build a huge platform with a bunch of these under it and then shoot it over to the ocean outside of KSC over there. Yeah. And then we're gonna see if this floats. Cause we could do like a modular base for Lathe, where we put like a bunch of modules of platforms with these under him, and dock them together and have a giant platform that stuff can land on and everything. So, yeah, I see you for that little experiment in the next episode. Till then, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and until next time, I'm gonna be Dadman. Bye.